Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name in the description below. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Quick update. What If Ninja in Jujutsu Kaisen will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these three fanfics. What if Reborn is Goku clone? What if Natsu has dual elements? What if Transmigrated in One Piece and becoming a marine? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 71, the new Bleach arc excites the readers. Ohara, Knowledge Village. Duffy. Hurry, let's go quickly, the store will be emptied of all volumes if we don't hurry. Little Rosinante moved from one place to another inside the house at an abnormal speed, which no one could see with the naked eye. But even so, his childlike voice came out from somewhere from time to time. Shut up. You're annoying, let me have my breakfast first, it's only morning. The art store won't close anytime soon. Little Doflamingo was annoyed by what was going on since his little brother had eaten the devil fruit that their teacher had given him and seemed to be in a hurry with everything. How can you say that? It's Manga Bleach's new folder update day. I know. Quietly children, Rosinante, have your breakfast first before going out, we shall go to the store together anyway. Lately, Matriarch said sternly, her children have been starting to spiral out of control, since they began training under the benefactor, becoming more and more abnormal. Okay, Mom. Rosinante's body, which was blurry due to the high speed, finally appeared and sat on the dining table near Doflamingo. Don Quixote Homing looked at all of this with a happy smile. For him, it was all right. And in the best case that we wished before. This place is a paradise compared to Mary Geo's. Since he started living with his family in this peaceful village, everything has been going for the better, and he was even able to get work with top archaeologists at the Great Library of Ohara inside the Tree of Knowledge. He could even become an archaeologist himself if he could pass the exam that Professor Clover would give him. But his happy smile was always met with a look of anger and dissatisfaction from Doflamingo. Unfortunately, his son could not forgive him until now. This was part of the Don Quixote family's daily life in Knowledge Village. Amazon Lily. Was a new book out of the Bleach manga really released? Yes, the new volume has been released, the Rescue Arc, but it is only the first part. It was so exciting that he even partially changed my view of the men. I can't hate a man like Kurosaki-kun no matter how I try. But a man like Zaraki Kenpachi would give me nightmares from now on. It's so scary. But Mayuri Kuratsuchi is more scary. He's kind of creepy. The arc began when Ichigo Kurosaki and his team finally managed to infiltrate the Soul Society with the help of Yoruichi Shihon, who can transform into a cat. Enough. Don't spoil me the events. When my guard period is over I'll go to the store, you got me excited enough. The woman who spoke was the hot blonde Marguerite-like who had stopped Rob last time. Such conversations repeat all over Amazon Lily. But in the Empress's palace, Empress Gloriosa sat on her bed while flipping through the pages of the new manga, although she was enthusiastic about it, but in her heart, she always felt something missing and out of place. From that day. Yamamoto, Kachiki Rukia, do you have any last words? Rukia, yeah. Just one. Yamamoto, okay. Yamamoto, as you asked, tomorrow morning we'll let the humans go home without hurting them as you wish. Rukia, really? Thanks a lot. Isana, poor thing. She doesn't know that he won't let them get out of here alive. Unohana, that's not my opinion, Isana. Unohana, it's good for her since her death is inevitable. We must at least ensure that we must let her die and her heart lives in peace. Yamamoto, release the Sukyoko seal. Rukia, I'm happy with my life. Meeting Rinji and the rest. Under Brother Sama's wing. Under Kane Dano's orders. especially under Ichigo's protection. No pain. No guilt. No sad. My heart lives in peace. Thank you and goodbye. Rukia, Ichigo. Ichigo, yo, Rukia. Rukia, idiot. Why did you come? Gloriosa closed the manga and she turned on her side to fall asleep, but a small tear and a small smile decorated her pretty face. In one of the art stores in North Blue. As I expected, this Shinigami world is more exciting for swordsmen like me. Young Mihawk didn't close the manga book but got lost in thought once more. He didn't realize it, but his body was trembling with excitement. He was thinking about how to make use of the battles he had just witnessed and try to come up with something useful for himself from them. The Battle of Rinji against Byakuya. Battle of Zaraki against Kaname Tozen and Sajin Kamamura. And a lot of other battles that appeared in this part. It was all very enthusiastic for Mihawk. How can I get a Zanpakuto too? How would my Bankai be if I had a Zanpakuto? The people around him were screaming at the magnificence of Kurosaki Ichigo entering the stage and saving Rukia, while he was repeating fights and scenarios in his mind as he returned to it in the manga and tried to get some real benefits from it. He would be lying if he said he hadn't gotten any ideas yet, but rather had a lot. This was the most important. Thanks to his sharp hawk-like eyes he could see what others couldn't. In his hands, this book had a treasure as important as the One Piece, but the idiots don't know what they're missing out on. Mihawk felt like laughing when he heard people talking about Yoruichi Shihan's beauty or how sexy Matsumoto Ringaku and Kukaka Shiba look. What Mihawk didn't know was that all the men from all over the world who watched the Bleach manga today had almost the same opinions. They felt respect for a man like Rinji. They felt the battle madness of Zaraki Kenpachi. And taste the real madness of Mayuri Karatsuchi. They also adored the sexy female beauty who appeared in the manga. And they wanted to know more about Urahara Kosuka's mystery. They felt contempt for Byakuya, who refused to save his sister. But most importantly, they all felt happy when Ichigo stepped in to save Rukia. Mary Geos. It wasn't just Mihawk who got excited in this arc and tried to get benefits from the skills of the Gotei 13 captains. But the world government also did. Once they were finished the reading of manga, the 5 elders assigned a whole team specialized solely to study Bleach manga and come up with skills from it, whether physical or spiritual. Just as the Rokushiki were being developed, the world government was planning to develop new abilities based on the Bleach manga. Since Rob opened his art store here, the life of celestial dragons has become even more exciting. The time when torturing slaves and using them for fun was their only entertainment is gone. Now they have real entertainment, literally addictive. After the release of the Bleach manga chapters, the celestial dragons got into a huge commotion and caused a lot of trouble to their guards. They were all shouting to call author Rob to marry Geois and honor him with all the good, as long as he draws plenty of chapters for them from now on. They were angry that the Navy had failed to take back Laboon and meet their demands the last time, but they took advantage of this failure to make this new request. When Rob heard this, he nearly died of laughter. For the first time, the demands of the celestial dragons were rejected by the 5 elders, which led to a double turmoil in Mary Geos. Despite all this, the slaves were having their best days ever. Since the art store appeared and they followed the divine store owner's plan, their suffering had become nearly 0%. They just have to be patient and they will be released and out of Mary Geos once and for all. Ding! Plus 1,000 art points from Navy Captain Borsellino. Ding! Plus 1,000 art points from Navy Captain Sakazuki. Ding! Plus 5,000 art points from Navy Admiral Sengoku. Ding! Plus 5,000 art points from Fleet Admiral Kong. Ding! Plus 4,500 art points from Navy Admiral Zephyr. Ding! Plus 1,000 art points from Vegapunk. This time Rob had to wake up again due to the endless system notification sounds. Why just don't let him rest for a bit? And why do they all have to be big shots this time? Chapter 72, Giving Power on a Gold Plate. Journey to the Sky with the Maid Sisters Group. Marine Ford. Is this book the cause of the uproar that is taking place in Mary Geo's, Borsellino? Borsellino, who was still a young man, looked toward Sakazuki with a meaningful look. They were currently in a public place after all. Borsellino was 28 years old, the same age as Rob, while Sakazuki looked 24 years old. Both of them joined the Navy 3 years ago, and in a short period of 3 years, they reached the rank of captain in the Navy and got the title of New Generation Monsters with Dragon, Vice Admiral Garp's son. The three of them were the invincible monsters with the same generation. Their achievements were extremely powerful thanks to the natural devil fruits. /N, Kuzan, Akiji, hasn't yet joined the Navy on this date but will be in 1 year. I didn't think you'd read the Bleach manga too, Sakazuki, that's really interesting. Borsellino looked at Sakazuki with a provocative smile that made the latter seriously consider killing him. Old face, I asked you a question. What's the problem if I'm reading the manga too? It gets leaked in large quantities from Mary Geos anyway. Well, don't get angry, it's kind of frustrating when you call me that disgraceful nickname. Aren't we comrades in arms, Sakazuki? From what has been circulating recently, a large group of celestial dragons submitted a petition to the 5 elders and it was rejected. Borsellino whispered in a low voice, pressed by Sakazuki to spit out what he knew. What kind of petition is this? What is it? And why? Even Sakazuki was curious about this. After all, in the past he served under the celestial dragons, he knew what kind of scum were celestial dragons, something that made them petition for it wouldn't be simple. Oh, what an annoying subject. It's totally because of that book in your hand. Then why didn't you say it the first time when I asked you? Are you so bored to stretch this conversation to this point, monkey face? You piss me off. Borsellino's body trembled when he heard another offensive nickname on the shape of his face. Won't you explain now? Sakazuki, take a look at our surroundings. Sakazuki seriously looked at his surroundings. They were in a public cafe for a break. Marines of all ranks were spread out everywhere, and they were reading manga volumes with excited expressions on their faces. The celestial dragons who stand above all living beings, when they tasted the pleasure of reading the manga, they didn't react like the rest of the humans. I mean, they were more excited than these, but they wanted to pull the author to their side and raise him like a goose giving birth to golden eggs, manga metaphor, every time they wanted to taste it. So they gathered their votes and submitted a petition for the first time in history. The request they agreed upon was to honor the author as a second-class noble, a false celestial dragon, with most of the rights of a celestial dragon, and this includes living in the domain of the gods with them. But their request was flatly denied. After all, the author is a dangerous pirate with overwhelming power. Sakazuki, who had heard all of this, was shocked, to the point that his mind was momentarily blank. Where did you get this information from? From the scientific base. From Vegabunk, right? In the office of the Fleet Admiral. Sengoku, the situation is getting out of hand. Rob has successfully planted poison in the middle of Mary Geos, can you believe it? Fleet Admiral Khan gritted his teeth angrily as he looked at the report in his hand. The world government is in a critical situation. I don't know why, but everyone in Mary Geos seems to be brainwashed with no effects at the moment. Sengoku looked at his old friend silently. He already knew his predicament. Khan was called to the position of Commander-in-Chief of the world government urgently to clean up the chaos in Mary Geos, and take the pressure off the 5 elders. Not to lie to you, I also love that man's manga, but as much as I love it, I am terrified of what that man can achieve with it. If you can't ban those stores, I think you should start drawing world government manga as well, and it should be just as efficient as One Piece and Bleach and better centered around our justice and our navy and showing our best qualities. All the ideas you gave me I really appreciate, Sengoku, thank you. I was supposed to be happy with this long-awaited promotion, but for them to call me to clean up a chaos like this, it kind of makes me feel better if I remain a fleet admiral. Yes, I really didn't expect the 5 elders to summon you at this time. This is much shorter than expected. It means that the time to sit on that seat has come for me as well. You're right, Sengoku, I'm counting on you. The official announcement will be soon. Skypiea. Rob and the group of maid sisters were roaming the streets of Sky Island. Sarah, look, these angel wings are so cute. I wish I had wings too. Ha, you are right, it is beautiful. I used to think that a place like this only existed in dreams. Sora let out a chuckle when she saw Belmir's enthusiasm. Wow! Sister Rouge, look at the houses, it's literally above the clouds. The clouds here have the advantage of being solid, although they are very light at the same time, so it is practically possible to build houses on top of the clouds. Rouge said with a smile. Why do you seem to know so much, Sister Rouge? Rouge only smiled and didn't answer Belmir's question. Oh my god, am I in heaven, Sister Matriarch? Look at that cute female angel, she uses what they call dials to blow the winds to dry the laundry. You can take some of these dials when we come back, they are very useful and practical, look, I bought a lot of them too. Rob almost applauded this woman when he heard that, because she always thinks of the good stuff first. Sister Alvia, can we have a home in this paradise? I want to live here. Of course, I'll get a house for little Sister Belmir, won't I, husband? Rob felt Alvia's scorching gaze on his back, so he turned around and nodded quickly before the looks turned into blades. Sure, I'll get it for you, just pick which cloud you want, Belmir. Yada! Sister Alvia is the best. But aren't I the one who deserves praise here? I'm the one who's going to buy you the cloud house, you know? Huh, isn't Big Brother Rob's money the same as Big Sister Alvia's? Rob. Bankai. Kakujo Tenjin Moo. Ha. Come to me, traitor Zaraki. Ha ha, come, we would fight to the death, Captain Komamoro. Rob smiled when he saw the Scythian kids playing manga characters and continued his way with the girls. They came across a lot of scenes like this, even in O'Hara. Rob was especially happy to see the kids happy, he was feeling an indescribable kind of inner satisfaction and peace. Dear, you look so happy. Alvia hugged Rob from behind as she climbed up to grab onto his back. How can I not be happy to have you around? Then you haven't yet told me what surprise you have for me, and you brought us to the sky because of it. Alvia whispered in Rob's ear, excitement prompted her to do so, she was so excited after all. Today, she don't only confirmed the truth of the legendary Sky Island that she saw in the records and she considered it just a legend, but her husband had another surprise for her, and this made her literally live in bliss. We'll be at Upper Yard soon. Just be a little patient. After some time the group reached to Angel Beach. And Rob brought out his magnificent yacht, which had been gathering dust in the inventory for a while, astonishing Alvia, Sora, Rouge, Matriarch, and Belmir with its luxurious design that they had never seen before. Rob jumped to the stern of the yacht and created a hard paper corridor with the power of devil fruit to allow the group to catch up. Come on, what are you waiting for? Go up, we'll go to Upper Yard, or as the Land of God is called. Rob's face showed a satisfied smile. How long has it been since he enjoyed the luxury of having beautiful girls on his yacht? The point is, this will happen in another world. Chapter 73, Exploring of the Golden City, Shandora. Rouge's Apology. Gold. Gold everywhere, we are rich. Belmir's eyes turned to gold as she saw the crumbling golden city in front of her. Each piece of gold was large enough to turn a poor person into a billionaire. Rob. What is this place? Why are most of the ruins built of gold, and most importantly, why does everything look so old? Alvia entered archaeologist mode once more as she tried to comprehend the antique smell that filled this place. This is the golden city of Shandora that has disappeared from history. Rob said with a smile as if what he had said was something simple. But to Rouge, Alvia, and Sora, it was a shock bomb. They all said at the same time. Is it the same city that Mont Blanc Noland was told about and he was executed for lying? Then you seem to know about that story as well? Yes, this is the golden city of which the famous Mont Blanc Noland tells about. Alvia, Rouge, and Sora were shocked when they heard the confirmation. Even Matriarch and Belmir were so interested in this story which they didn't know about. 400 years ago or so, an explorer man from a far land came to this place. He stood at the same place we are standing now, but the only difference is that the golden city he saw at that time was so prosperous and so beautiful to the point he was almost lost his soul in its magnificence. Rob tells them the story of the golden city in Noland briefly, telling them of the great knock-up stream that separated half of the island of Jaya from the blue sea and lifted it into the sky. The story told by Rob made the women plunge into amazing history. So, this is the real story. What an epic story. Shame on me as an archaeologist for not looking for the truth and believing what came in a distorted story. Alvia felt deep guilt after hearing the Nolan story, not only her but even Rouge and Sora because, like her, they believed the comic book they had read about the Nolan liar story before. It's not your fault in any way. In fact, it wasn't even the fault of the Lumbeel royal family. After all, half of the island completely flew to the sky. Who would believe a fact like this? Ah. Yeah. Rob allowed the girls to scatter around while searching the ruins of the Golden City. They gained a lot from this trip. This was a wonderful adventure for them, so he let them do whatever they wanted while he locked them in with his observation hockey at every moment so he wouldn't be careless. As Alvia was wandering through the ruins and even looking at the scattered stones with the look of a veteran archaeologist, she saw something that made the blood in her body freeze. A huge python stood looking at her from above with a frightening look, only its head was the size of a house, not to mention the rest of its extremely long body. Alvia stumbled back and almost screamed in terror, but she felt a warm hand which holding her from behind. Immediately her fear flew out the window. Rob looked toward the blueskin striped python. And a light of conqueror hockey flashed from his eyes at that moment, making the python sweat. Go away, now! Rob said only 2 words and then the python's huge body crawled and disappeared from view. Were you afraid, my dear? Rob carried Alvia with the way of carrying the princess because he felt she couldn't stand because of fear. It was a negative thing for a pregnant woman. I wasn't scared. It just surprised me. It was so huge. I also hate snakes. Alvia rested her head on his chest as she spoke in the mosquito's voice. Rob almost laughed because of her cuteness. From the side, Rouge and the girls watched this little incident with interest. I didn't expect there to be such a huge python in this place. Is he protecting the ruins of Shandora? Sora inquired as she calms Belmere, who was hiding behind her back like a frightened rabbit when she saw the huge python. I think so. Rouge didn't care about the python but was looking at Rob, who was carrying Alvia, and calms her down with a complicated look in her eye. Since entering this group, she hasn't discovered anything sinister or abnormal from this man. All she has discovered is that he is simply a wonderful man. She no longer heard any voices from his mind, no matter how hard she tried, as if his mind had gone blank, but she knew that due to the strength of the other party, it was difficult to read the thoughts of a strong person without the desire to reveal his thoughts. The trees spread out in the area and the gentle wind breeze blew. Alvia's white hair flew in the wind as well as the beautiful women beside her. Alvia was shocked, and she was so happy when she saw what she had aspired to see as an archaeologist. It's the gift I told you about, but I think its content should be kept secret, sweetheart. Did you like the gift? There are still many more like it. Sure, I like it so much. I love it. Thank you, my love. Alvia approached the poneglyph and began to read it in earnest. He's talking about Poseidon's ancient weapon. Okay, its content is interesting. I'm satisfied, my dear, I love you. Alvia hugged Rob and kissed him passionately in front of the shy eyes of Sora and the others. Poseidon's ancient weapon? As for Rouge, she took the poneglyph seriously and tried to use her ability to find out its contents, but because she hadn't studied the ancient language before, she could not decipher it even with her ability. Rouge was really curious. There are other words on the golden wall, written in the ancient language. Rouge noticed the words engraved on the golden wall and told Alvia, who left Rob's hug the moment she heard it and turned around very quickly to see what she had missed. Alvia looked between Rob and the words engraved on the golden wall for a while and then. PFT, dear, you are a genius. I didn't expect you to master the ancient language to such a level and leave such an amazing message to the future as well. Rob laughed happily upon hearing his wife's praise. Can you sculpt a message for me as well? Sure, what do you want me to write? Then won't you at least tell us what kind of letter the president wrote? Why all the mystery? While Rob was seriously sculpting Alvia's words beside his signature, Belmere could no longer stand the ambiguous atmosphere this husband and wife created, and she asked aloud. Rob looked at the interested faces of Sora and Rouge and Matriarch, and, finally, the brat Belmere. Actually, there are 2 messages, one for the crew of the Pirate King and one for my daughter. Rob removed all the ambiguity about the two messages which he had left, and he told the woman group what its content was, finally curing their curiosity. Rob-san? Rob looked at Rouge and he was surprised that she hadn't left with the rest yet. Why didn't you leave with Alvia and the others, Rouge-san? When they had previously explored the golden city of Shandora, Rob took them to an art store hidden in the jungle near the site of the poneglyph, which really surprised them. Rob stayed in Skypiea because he still had some unfinished business here, and asked the Waitressing Sisters group to get back to their work. It was very good to them, but when Alvia asked him why he hadn't brought them here directly through this art store, he simply said, "Because I wanted to make you enjoy the journey on Sky Island, and more than that I wanted taking you on a luxury yacht tour. Didn't you say it was a fun experience and you want to ride my yacht again?" His answer was very convincing as they all nodded in agreement. Back to this moment. I have something to tell you, so I stayed behind. Rouge was a little tense, and that's what Rob noticed. Okay, let's go to the right place to talk. They both returned to the art store and sat in the trendy tavern. So what do you have to tell me? Don't be ashamed, Rouge-san, tell me what's on your mind without being upset or embarrassed about anything. I won't blame you no matter what. Rouge was dumbfounded by his words. She couldn't believe he said he wouldn't blame her for all the coldness with which she had acted with him the whole time. I'm sorry, Rob-san, I wanted to apologize for my past behavior with you, even though you are my boss. Rob didn't think this woman would ever apologize to him. No, he didn't think she could forgive him one day. Seriously, I didn't really expect this, even though I was clearly the one in the wrong, but you came to apologize to me. What are you apologizing for? You have done nothing wrong. This is how any wife will react against the one who predicts her husband's death. I apologize because I thought you were a bad person before. So, can you at least tell me why my husband will give himself up to the Navy in the future? Rouge seemed to be convinced by what she saw in the first chapter of the manga. I guess he'll tell you himself next time you meet, or would you rather hear it from me? If you want, I can tell you, no problem with me. Rouge thought seriously. She was hesitant because she really wanted to know, but hearing the truth from Roger would be better. At last, Rouge stood up before she, thanking Rob and starting to leave. Her decision was clear at this point. Rouge-san, if you succeed in convincing him not to die, I can save your husband for you. I have my own way, plus I also don't want Captain Roger to die. Rouge's steps stopped as she turned around and looked at Rob, who was still sitting in a complete stupor. Can you really do that? Of course, I can. Chapter 74, Baroque Works Saga, Whiskey Peak Arc. After the events of Reverse Mountain and with the log pose in hand, the Straw Hat Pirates head to their next destination, Whiskey Peak, a city that welcomes pirates with open arms and treats them like celebrities. Unfortunately, that can't be true, because, on the same night that the Straw Hat Pirates enjoyed the party, the islanders showed their true colors and turned out to be bounty hunters disguised as civilians. The Whiskey Peak was a town on Cactus Island, the first island on the Grand Line that Luffy and his comrades had reached. A welcoming city, a princess protection deal, a secret organization, and a beautiful woman. Rob drew everything in this arc in high esteem, but why? Of course, because of his unborn daughter and his treasure. Robin will make her first appearance in this arc. It's just like a version of Alvia. Rob commented with a gentle smile on the picture of Robin that had suddenly appeared on the Going Merry ship. Her appearance in this arc was due to her desire to help the Straw Hat Pirates avoid the dangers of Little Garden. But stupid Luffy didn't appreciate this favor and broke log pose again. This arc was the real beginning of the clash with the Baroque Works organization, in which two important agents of the organization were toppled by the Straw Hats, and the short arc ended with a glimpse of the next island and the appearance of a giant human foot. Prehistoric Island, Little Garden. Okay, we're done with that. Now, it's time to release the weekly update. Rob finished mass copying the new volume and the system filled the shelves directly. The art store hadn't opened its doors yet, so everything was still quite calm. Although it was only superficial silence, the silence before the storm, because on the day of the weekly update of One Piece manga, the people of the islands that have an art store on their territory used to not sleep that night. Their only thought was who would get the new update first. Sigh, it will be a very long day. Rob sighed at the thought of how to justify everything to Alvia. Robin's appearance in the manga was inevitable. She was an exact copy of Alvia. So she will definitely get to know her. No, the archaeologists will know her too, and Rouge and Sarah and the waitress sisters will definitely get to know her. How would their reactions be? Rob was expecting a lot of interesting things today. Maybe, on this day he'll have to tell Alvia the truth of everything in a way she can believe. Every time he lied to his wife he felt pain, and Rob wasn't as unemotional about it as it seemed. He knew that a good relationship is built on honesty. But Rob's situation is somewhat unrealistic. The truth he knows he cannot simply tell. It would be ridiculous for him to say to his wife, "You were just a manga character in my previous life." No, this whole world was just a manga story in my previous life. It would be good if he told her a more logical and believable truth. Although Rob is sure Alvia will believe him even if he tells her the truth as it is. However, he doesn't want to harm his wife in any way. What would you do if you knew that the fact that you exist is a fictional character? You certainly cannot accept that. This was Rob's philosophy. He would rather lie than hurt his loved ones. Rob walked out of O'Hara's art store, pulled out a cigarette, and began to smoke while looking at the full moon and the bright stars in the dawn sky. In fact, the longer Rob lived in this world, the more he refused to believe that it was just a fantasy world. It looked very real after all. I wonder in which galaxy the Seas planet is located. Could it be the Milky Way as well? Or should I wonder if this planet is in the same universe as Earth? The next morning, the green light from the store's beacon looked like a green moon over each island's sky. The sounds of rushing feet and the noise of the crowd rang out on every island that contained an art store. Most of the people in the crowd didn't even eat their breakfast. After all, the new One Piece book was lunch for the soul. The doors of the art store opened in O'Hara and the famous waitress sisters led by Alvia welcomed dear customers. Hello everyone, the internal space of the store can accommodate all of you, and new chapters are available in large quantities, so there is no need to rush, dear customers, please one person enter at a time. As you wish, owner's wife. We'll be in your care, Alvia-san. It was the same situation in Flevance, Lode Town, and the Kingdom of Germa, and in every island had an art store. Enthusiasm fills the air as if today were a festival. In Mary Geos, the same thing happened too. The weekly book of One Piece was followed by the youngs and the olds. The flavor of adventures that the celestial dragons miss in their lives, they found it in the One Piece manga. Therefore it is preferred over Bleach manga more often. Again today a batch of new slaves entered the art store and word of Rob's vocal message spread among the majority of slaves in Mary Geos. The slaves' gratitude towards the divine store owner was growing stronger with each passing day. Chapter 75, Robin appearance in the manga. Amazement of Olivia and the archaeologists of O'Hara. Mr. 5, the two enemy agents are, the commander of the Royal Guard, of the Alabasta Kingdom, Igaram. And also, Princess of Alabasta. Nefertari Vivi. Vivi, you are a devil. Mr. 9, Miss Wednesday, are you a princess? Vivi, stop your foolishness, Mr. 9. Zoro, what a night. Good luck to you, bye. Mr. 5, by the name of the leader of the Baroque Works organization, I will get rid of you both. Igaram, please. Take the princess to Alabasta, it's a kingdom in the Far East. Igaram, protect her. You will be generously rewarded for this. I beg of you, please save the princess. Zoro, do you want me to beat you up? Nami, just how high are the rewards you're talking about? Igaram, huh? Nami, we'll do it, for 1 billion berries. Zoro, Nami. Nami, so what are Baroque Works? Igaram, it is a secret criminal organization. None of its members knows what its leader is like. Most of its work is focused on theft, espionage, assassination, and bounty hunting. The leader dictates orders to everyone. Nami, you don't even know what he looks like? Why then do you carry out his orders? Igaram, the ultimate goal of Baroque Works is to create the ideal city. Igaram, those of us who work in the Baroque Works, promised high positions in that ideal city. Nami, I see. Igaram, his code name is Mr. Zero. The closer the code name is to 0, the higher the position of its owner. And the more powerful it becomes. Those with code names less than 5 are extremely dangerous and their power is enormous. Nami, so that's it, I'm starting to fully understand the situation. With your country in shambles, we have no money to got it there. Luffy, but who is the mastermind? Vivi, I can't tell you who the leader is. What a question. Don't ask me about this. I can't tell you. If I do, they will chase after you too. Nami, haha. It's okay, don't tell us. I mean, if he wanted to control an entire kingdom, he must be a really scary person. Vivi, it is. You all very strong, but you are no match for Crocodile, a Shichibukai. Nami, degree. Luffy, degree 0 degree. Zoro, you just told us. Luffy, the fog has cleared up. It's morning time. Miss All Sunday, be careful not to hit the rocks on the cliff, I'm glad you managed to escape. Zoro, huh? Who are you? Nami, who is this? Miss All Sunday, I met Mr. 8 a little while ago, Miss Wednesday. Vivi. So you did this to Igaram? Luffy, hey, that's you. First, what are you doing on our ship? Vivi, that's right, what are you doing here, Miss All Sunday? Equals. A bounty hunters organization ruled by the Shichibukai whose goal is to overthrow the Alabasta Kingdom. Why do I feel like this doesn't bode well for us guys? The long-bearded Gorosei spoke some subtle worry in his voice. Ever since he started reading the new book, a bad feeling has been rising in his heart. Why exactly is Alabasta? Of all the kingdoms at the beginning of the Grand Line, why did the author choose Alabasta to build the next conflict? The bald Gorosei wondered why the Alabasta Kingdom had come to the fore this time. I heard that the newly crowned young king of the Alabasta Kingdom, Nefertari Cobra, has been married. The kingdom of Alabasta is currently living in the rhythm of wedding festivities. There are no economic or political problems in the kingdom. I wonder if the future will be as described here. The blonde Gorosei was more concerned with the matters of the Alabasta Kingdom currently. Evil organizations that want to overthrow kingdoms are not uncommon, it always happens, but exactly that to the Nefertari family. What a funny joke. Is Rob trying to tell us what kind of future is coming? Now that we know this, does he think we'll leave a trivial Shichibukai doing what he wants in the future? The Gorosei with scars on the side of his left face hit the ground with his cane as he shares his deep thoughts about the new volume. The question is, will we allow the Shichibukai law to appear again or not? Although I feel that it is really close, after all, the era of the 3 great pirates will soon end and the new generation will begin to conquer the sea, no matter how severe it will create new chaos in the sea. You have a point. Ohara. Ding. Plus 90 arc points from Celestial Dragon Saint Lunaid. Ding. Plus 200 arc points from CP1 member Zeke. Ding. Plus 5,000 art points from Gorosei? Ding. Plus 580 art points from Marine Lieutenant Jaguar D. Isol. Ding. Plus 5,000 art points from Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp. Ding. Plus 500 art points from Nico Alvia. Ding. Plus 300 art points from Professor Clover. When he saw the notice he was waiting for, Rob left his personal section and headed toward the modern tavern where Alvia was at the moment. The store was full of jubilant people today, but Rob's mood was not as festive as theirs, and he must have been somewhat tense. From the distance, Rob heard the astonishment of Alvia, Rouge, Belmire, and the others. It was their natural reaction when they saw the appearance of Miss All Sunday in today's update. In the Great Ohara Library. This woman looks like my student Alvia, only their hair color is different. Professor Clover was stunned when he saw Alvia's doppelganger in his favorite story. That's normal. Since Alvia-san is the author's wife, it's only natural for the author to create a character that looks like her. I don't think it's like that. I have a feeling this character is a lot more than meets the eye. I am excited about the crew's arrival in Alabasta. After all, Alabasta is one of the few kingdoms surviving from 800 years ago. Maybe it may contain a history stone deep in its desert. This Miss All Sunday looks a lot like Big Sister Alvia, I wonder? Could she be the daughter of the boss and Big Sister in the future? When Alvia heard Belmir's wondered, her body shivered unknowingly and one hand touched her stomach and the other hand touched Robin's smiling face on the manga page. Both Sara and Rouge noted this anomaly in Alvia. Sara was more understanding of Alvia's current situation because, after all, she had the same reaction every time she saw Sanji in the manga. I think. When Rob arrived, Matriarch's words were interrupted, and the place fell completely silent. Rob looked between the sentimental Alvia and the manga page in which Robin appears. Rob smiled sweetly and hugged Alvia from the waist before whispering in her ear. Come with me, I need to tell you a lot of things. Alvia didn't understand the situation until she found herself somewhere else. Rob and Alvia transited to a more private place in his personal section. Chapter 76, Reveal the Shocking Truth to Alvia. Drum Kingdom. At the moment Rob was on the Grand Line heading towards a new goal of opening his own art store. I think that's for the best. While he was in the sky, he began to remember the content of his conversation with his wife, the facts he had revealed to her, and her sudden reaction to everything. Flashback. Alvia, I have something to tell you so that your mood in the future will not be affected and so that you may remain strong as I have always known you. Rob looked into Alvia's eyes and spoke without any hesitation. You're making me tense, Rob, just tell me what's going on. How do you know what our Robin will look like in the future? This kinda scares me. First, tell me why are you so sure Miss All Sunday is our Robin? Rob was more interested in this point. It's a mother's intuition, and Miss All Sunday is just like me. The moment I saw her she felt like Robin, and I think Belmir knows that too because she already told me that your manga is real. Just tell me everything now. The manga I'm drawing at the moment is another reality in a parallel world where I died. It's a parallel world I got his memories in a way that I can't describe, but I can bet that we have the same history with the parallel world and we probably would have had the same future if I had died. But before he could finish speaking, he felt Alvia's warm body hugging him tightly. I understand everything now, but the most important thing is that you will not die, right? Rob felt a deep fear of Alvia at this moment. She was afraid of losing him. Rob gently patted her back as he spoke. No, I won't die in this world and it doesn't look like I could die even if I tried. The important thing is, no matter how unfortunate you read about the unfortunate events in the manga later, I hope you don't blame me. Those events are what happened in a parallel world and I'm obligated to paint them as they are or I'm really going to die. I will not blame you no matter what. I will be with you in whatever you want to do. If you want to change the world through facts from another world, I am with you on this, my dear. But please don't tell me that our daughter will be evil in that world. No, my dear, Robin-chan is the kindest person in all of the parallel worlds out there. It really comforted me. End of flashback. Rob was so happy to have a woman like Alvia whose only fear after knowing the truth was whether he would stay with them or die in this world too. After he finished thinking about what had happened, Rob began sensing his current surroundings again. He had entered a cold region in the Grand Line. Rob noticed the snow falling in this area of the sea and realized that he was already close to his destination. Due to his lightning-enhanced speed, Rob quickly arrived at the desired location. Rob has finally descended into the Kingdom of Drum, a kingdom of winter and snow. My art store will be the only warm place on this island. I think I'll have to add some air conditioning to warm the store more. That would be an important attraction. The title of art seller gave him vital insights into ensuring that his profits would continue to rise anywhere. In a house among the snow-covered pines, an old woman was busy preparing her various medicinal recipes, as she used to do every day. Her common nickname among the current inhabitants of Drum Kingdom was Immortal, which, after all, she has lived through many generations and is still alive without any complications. This was the home of the famous Dr. Kureha. What are these annoying lights? From the window, a beam of light penetrated and caused annoying photorefraction of the eyes. Dr. Kureha had to get out of the house to find out what was going on. What is this thing? Art store? Where can you enjoy the future? These bright words decorated the sky of the Winter Kingdom, and everyone in this kingdom could see them, including a crazy doctor who felt excited at the moment. What will my future as a respected doctor be? Will I save a lot of people in the future? I'm really interested. The bright lights of the art beacon were reflected in the eyes of a 40-year-old man with a strange hairstyle and an excited smile. This man was the notorious Dr. Hirulek on this island. Rob stood beside the king of this kingdom and his guards while speaking with a smile to the people of the Drum Kingdom, who were feeling excited by everything they heard from this man in front of them at the moment. I promised King Maypal that I would make a lot of profitable investments on this island, didn't this, King Maypal? Rob looked at King Maypal with a meaningful smile while the latter forcibly smiled and nodded his head without daring to laugh it off, even adding so much spice to Rob's words. King Maypal was the current king of the Drum Kingdom. He seemed to be 55 years old and was the father of Wapple, who happened to be 1 year old at present. When Rob first came to this kingdom, he humbly asked for a plot of ground from the king so that he could open his art store here, but Maypal thought he was just a fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered and demanded a 1 billion berry for a little piece of ground. So Rob taught him a small lesson until he became obedient. The smell of roasting meat from being struck by lightning still pervaded the place after all. Not yet born who can blackmail Rob. Rob went on to talk about the benefits of the art store for the still growing crowd. Of course, he didn't tell them about such great benefits as being able to protect the entire island. After all, that was his trump card that he wouldn't reveal as easily as he did last time in the Linville Kingdom. As he was speaking, Rob saw two familiar figures in the newly regrouped crowd. They were Dr. Kureha and Dr. Hirulek. Dr. Kureha especially, Rob needs to have a good bond with this old woman, her amazing medical skills are worth it. He was very interested in her reaction when she sees herself in the manga after 2 weeks at the Drum Island arc. I won't make my speech longer for you, you can go in now and judge on my store for yourselves. Chapter 77, Gloriosa Falling in Love. Arabasta Kingdom. The Grand Line, Amazon Lily Island. Since the art store appeared here, this place has become noisier by the day, after it was in the past very quiet. The art store became a sacred place for these female warriors and female pirates. And Rob, who was the owner of this store, became the most mysterious man in their hearts all. They'd get to know Rob from the art store because he always leaves his autograph after all, and only a few of these women know Rob face to face. When Rob came here for the first time, he actually left his name to the female guards and the Empress only. So these very few women are the ones who know him. After all, Rob hasn't been back to Amazon Lily since he opened his store here. But he's allowed Alvia and the others to move there to hospitality these women from the Women Island from time to time. Just like today. So you are the wife of the owner of this place, aren't you? Gloriosa, the empress of this place, did not know how many times she had asked this question. Alvia looked at the beautiful woman in front of her with confidence, and she answered with pride. Yes, I am his wife, Empress. I have already answered that question to you dozens of times now. Do I look like I'm lying? Look at this picture. Alvia took out her iPhone and showed her a very intimate pose with Rob. Gloriosa felt a twinge in her heart when she saw this picture. The Empress's female guards also showed a look of disappointment when they saw the picture. Alvia's eyes narrowed to a crescent shape as she saw the reactions of the Empress and her guards to this fact. And she asked with a rather frightening smile. Did Rob do something to disgrace you girls? Why do you have such a sad expression when you find out I'm his wife? Rouge, Sora, Belmire, and Matriarch all felt pity for Rob when they saw her fearsome smile that would obviously kill him if she found out he had done something bad behind her back. Gloriosa regained her composure and said with a somewhat fake smile. No, he didn't do anything at all. He forcefully opened his store here after I turned him down, and that helped us all enjoy manga we didn't know anything about. That's why we liked him so much. I hope you don't blame Mr. Rob, Alvia-san. Yes. Yes. That's what happened. I never thought I'd like a man in my life until I saw Rob-san. Alvia, who had heard the words of the Empress and her guards, did not know whether to cry or laugh. She can't blame her husband for his charm, can she? What Alvia didn't know was that Rob broke into the Empress' bathroom and he saw her completely naked body. Gloriosa hid this fact to protect Rob's married life. After Alvia and the others leave, Gloriosa returns to her palace. Above her bed, her sensual body was turning left and right, she couldn't sleep at all. The content of her conversation with Alvia was replaying in her mind almost at every moment. From the day that strange man broke into her bathroom, it seemed as if he had broken into her heart as well and imprinted himself deeply in it. On the same night she suffered from a high fever and many thoughts were in common, all of her thoughts containing that man's face. Only after a few days did she find out that she had become in love with that man. From the records of the previous empresses, her condition was similar to many of them who fell in love. If it wasn't for the art store he left behind, she would have gone crazy or gone out to sea to look for him. That man her heart chose was the one she wanted to live with, even if she broke the taboo and the law of the Amazon Lily Island. But when Alvia first came to the art store on their island and told her that this man was her husband, her subconscious refused to believe it. Every time she asks her the same question and Alvia answers her with the same answer. To this day, Alvia has shown her the ultimate proof. Her false hopes flew out the window. Gloriosa rolled over on her bed again, but this time her tears streamed uncontrollably down her pretty face. Her heart is broken. The Grand Line, Arabasta. Rob appeared in the Kingdom of Sand and Desert this time, although it looked a lot greener than it looked in the future. Rob wandered in the capital Aliabarna for some time, the buildings here reminding him of the Arab civilization of his former world. Rob is surprised that the city has a festive atmosphere. So he used the observation hockey and covered the whole city. From the whispers of the crowd near the royal palace, Rob got surprising news. Today is the last festive day of the week-long royal wedding. Well, since it is the last day of the wedding, I have to wait just a little while to meet the young King Cobra. Rob searches for a hotel and chooses to spend a quiet night there. He's already finished setting up an art store on Drum Island, now all he has to do is set up a store here on Sandy Island and he'll be done. He wanted to protect the islands containing the poneglyphs the most. He also decided to present to his wife any poneglyph who knew his whereabouts. The more complex reason why he set up his art store here so urgently is that there is a possibility that there is a Pluton somewhere on this island. He will surely know where he is after reading the poneglyph. The next morning, Rob drove his Ford to the royal palace, marveling at the residents who had remained frozen in place when they saw a Ford for the first time in their lives. Even the palace guards didn't dare stand in his way when they saw the Ford wanting to enter through the gates. Rob came down from the Ford in a suit and solemn mood, only his 3-meter height approximately made everyone who saw him want to bow to greet the king. Rob opened the back of the car and called the guards to carry the gifts he brought. After all, coming to meet a newlywed couple without gifts would be bad for Rob's taste. The servants and maids of the royal palace ran to take the well-arranged gifts as hearts appeared in their eyes as they looked at the Ford that looked like a black armored beast, with matchless elegance. "From here, my lord, the king, and queen are already waiting for you," a maid said very humbly as she began to lead the way. Before Rob came here, he sent a message to the royal palace, which contained his identity and his desire to meet the king, as well as his goodwill. Of course, when Cobra had learns that his guest is a notorious pirate with a bounty close to $1 billion, what can he do but obey? Chapter 78, Opening a New Art Store in Arabasta. The interaction of Arabasta and Drum people with the manga. Thank you for your kind gifts on the occasion of my happy marriage, I and my wife really appreciate it. Cobra was no longer tense when he noticed that the other party didn't come with any aggressive intent, so he returned to his majestic nature as king of Arabasta and spoke softly. "I totally agree with my husband, Mr. Rob, we are grateful for your generosity." Nefertari TT, who looked just like a copy of Vivi, spoke with great gratitude. Although he is a dangerous pirate, he is still a big figure in this world. Someone like him who comes to congratulate them on their marriage is not something that happens every day. "I came here for work, I didn't think I would come across the king and queen's wedding event. I thought this was a good opportunity to congratulate you," Rob said spontaneously while drinking the cup of sake that the maid offered. "Then, what business does someone of your caliber do in my humble kingdom?" Nefertari TT noticed that her husband was tense again, so she grabbed his hand to calm him down. Nefertari Cobra calmed down thanks to his wife's kind gesture and waited for Rob's answer. "As I said in my letter, I'm not a pirate anymore, although my bounty is still active, that doesn't mean I'm a bad man. Please don't get tense because of me. I'm not an irrational person. Don't speak, King Cobra, just let me finish. I have become a reputable merchant in the 4 seas, and have just begun to publish my work in the Grand Line. Your country is the third I have chosen to publish my work in Grand Line, so this is what I came here for. I want to buy a piece of ground from you to open my art store in your country. Grand Line, Drum Kingdom. I can't believe a blind person can get his sight back here. How does this place work? It doesn't make sense, the laws of medicine don't work here. Sitting in the trendy tavern of the art store, Dr. Hiralik repeated his words for the 100th time. Since entering here, he has been in a daze. Besides this, don't you feel that you can live forever if you stay in this place? This unnatural feeling. I think it's real. Dr. Hiralik turned back and looked at the old woman in front of him with a meaningful look. It could be said that his medical knowledge in comparison to this old woman could only be described as meager. So he couldn't consider something the old immortal has said to be meaningless. You are right, I feel indescribably safe in this place, as if I cannot die here. Dr. Kureha looked at the noisy place and smiled before she said. This place is very warm, it has amazing food and a variety of drinks, it provides physical and spiritual security, it's also very cheap and it's free entry, and most importantly this. She pointed to the manga book One Piece before continuing. I wonder if the owner of this paradise is a benevolent saint or a soul thief devil. Dr. Hiralik looked at the manga book while listening seriously to the words of his colleague in the profession. I've read it to the last chapter. I think this book is full of potential, a great story that shows what a pirate really should be. I think Monkey D. Luffy is a real pirate. How nice it is to seek freedom by relying on real companions. But this remains just a fantasy, there is no such pirate in today's world. I really don't understand why someone great as Sky Sword would publish such a book. While drinking a can of Coca-Cola from a vending machine, Dr. Hilaric said whatever was on his mind. Listen to the reactions of the people of the kingdom and you will understand why. Dr. Hilaric stopped drinking the soda and listened seriously. I want to read more of this story, it's really fun. Dad, can I go to the sea when I grow up? I want to be like Luffy. Yay! Nami-san is so beautiful. And Vivi-san too. I think Miss All Sunday is the prettiest. I didn't know the world was so big. Pirates aren't that bad. I didn't know the Navy was so rude. I'm starting to hate the Navy. I'm starting to love pirates. Hilaric sprinkled the drink he had not yet swallowed due to the shock, but Kureha avoided it before she got wet. This is really shocking, I think I'm starting to understand. He wants to change the world with art, but why do I have a feeling that I will meet the Straw Hat Pirates in the future? That's if you're still alive until then. Are you cursing me, you bastard? How about a bet, you're going to die before me, ha ha ha. Dr. Hilaric froze from Kureha's evil laugh. Arabasta. That's amazing, manga. So this is the art the store owner was talking about? Great, that's really cool, I can't stop reading it since I read the first volume. I've lost 7,000 berry, but why do I feel like what I spent isn't worth it? I also have the same feeling, why don't we buy the Bleach manga now that we're done with One Piece? Guys, we'll buy Bleach manga later, but doesn't it look like you missed something important? Ah. You're right, Nefertari Vivi. Isn't the royal family's name Nefertari too? He mentions the name of our kingdom directly in the last volume and says we are in a civil war, you fools, weren't you focused? This? You're right. Husband, this is kinda scary, I feel like this book predicts the future. The 22-year-old Cobra was sweating while reading the manga, but his wife's comment made him sweat even more. No. It's just a coincidence, Mr. Rob himself said he only publishes art. My dear, Mr. Rob doesn't know that we've decided to name our future daughter Vivi. Don't we just know that? Plus, the facade of this store clearly says that we can enjoy the future in this place. Maybe he got the name from your name by chance. And how do you explain the presence of Igaram as the commander of the Royal Guard? Were we not going to appoint him to this position next month? How did he know that Igaram became the commander of the Royal Guard? Although what he heard from his wife made a lot of sense, Cobra refused to believe it. He refused to believe that his future self had allowed his beloved daughter to put herself in such enormous danger. My dear, if I happen to die in the future, please don't endanger our daughter. Vivi will become the Queen of Arabasta after all. Nefertari TT said with a rather bitter smile. Don't say that. Why curse yourself, my dear? Returning to Rob, all that can be seen of him at the moment are the sparks of lightning leaving behind him in a straight line. Rob was flying at lightning speed towards his next destination, but before that he summoned the system window to perform the next update. It's time for part 2 of the rescue arc after all. The next book of Bleach is coming to cause a new stir. Chapter 79, New Bleach Volume. The Road to Wano Country. Status window. Host, Rudes D. Rob. System level, level 9, 900,000/1 500,000. Art store, 28, 28/100 usable. System shop, 531,563,054 art coin. Host titles, beginner mangaka, art seller. Store window, manga One Piece. +7 books, / manga Bleach. +4 books, / One Piece anime. +0 episodes, / Hunter x Hunter anime. +0 episodes, / Naruto anime. +0 episodes. While flying at a high speed, Rob inspects the window of the system to publish the second part of the rescue arc that he had already finished from it some time ago. The feature of the system window was very good in this case. He could publish his manga from anywhere without having his personal presence. Regarding the new book that he just published in all his stores, it contains a big surprise and a big turn of events that will shock all the readers for sure. The good man who everyone thought died in the first part of the arc, the captain of Division 5, Sasuke Aizen, came back from the dead to shock everyone as the main villain and the big boss who was playing with the strings of everything long ago and who had everything under his control and planned meticulously of him. Rob was excited to see the audience's reaction to this situation. Bleach fans in particular will be stunned. After all, despite being a villain, Aizen would make a special impression on fans' hearts. An impression that cannot be touched in any way. After Ichigo saves Rukia from execution at the last moment, captains sympathetic to Rukia are forced to appear to stop the other captains, Shunsui Kairaku and Jushiro Yukitake, from interfering, thus beginning the real turmoil in the Soul Society. A lot battles started again everywhere in the Soul Society. But this time it was more strong and fiercer. The fight awaited by the fans, Ichigo against Byakuya, began right after Ichigo handed Rukia over to Rinji to escape from the execution grounds. It was an enthusiastic fight and Rob was sure to make the followers' blood boil. After all, not only did Ichigo Bankai and Byakuya Bankai appear in this battle, the Hollow took control of Ichigo, making him become even more terrifying. Surprisingly, Ichigo defeated Byakuya in the end by a narrow margin. In addition to all of this, Rob is sure that the fight of Captains Kairaku and Yukitake against Captain Commander, Genryosei Shigakuni Yamamoto, will be very exciting for readers. After all, a fight of this level can be compared to the battles of an admiral level in this world. Yamamoto could be compared to an admiral of the fleet or more so. Commanders can also be compared to the level of an admiral. Only with his Shurikai, Yamamoto completely burned the area around them, and that didn't even show how strong his true strength was. Also featured in this part is another battle between the teacher and her student, this time as well, Yoruchi against Suefome, which Yoruchi eventually defeats using the Shunko technique. It is also in this part that Hitsugaya discovers that the mastermind behind everything is the still alive Aizen, who was easily defeated by Aizen and went to the execution area where Rukia was sent there again by Tozen, who turned out to be Aizen's partner. Despite the efforts of Ichigo, Rinji, and Captain Seijin Kamamura, Aizen manages to extract Hogyoku from Rukia body, and he and his associates, Tozen and Jin Ikamaru, manage to escape from the Soul Society to Hueco Mundo despite being surrounded by Gotei 13 commanders due to the arrival of several Minos Grande. At the end of the rescue arc, Ichigo and his friends return to the real world, leaving Rukia behind at her request. This was the summary of the second part of the rescue arc. After Rob finished some modifications in the system window, he continued his journey towards his goal. He quickly bypassed Paradise, the first part of the Grand Line, and entered the new world he had not entered for a while. Of course, it's not him but the former Rob. Rob needed no log pose or maps this time because thanks to his photographic memory he was able to retrieve all of Rob's buried memories, which contain all the routes he's traveled aboard the R.O. Jackson in the past. After all, he's lived for 6 years on Roger's ship, and most of it is here in the New World, so Rob remembers a lot about the second part of the Grand Line, plus he was born here in the New World. The moment Rob entered this part of the sea he felt as if he had come home. He was very familiar with this place. Despite the huge changes in the atmosphere that seemed rather unnatural or catastrophic as they must be described, Rob still feels nostalgic. Rob passed through a thunderstorm and sucked all the lightning out of it, causing the storm to disappear and the sea to calm down. Rob burped as if he had just finished a fancy meal and continued his easy way through the storms and various weather changes. This was a simple method for training the abilities of a lightning fruit. External lightning was a great item for training his devil fruit after all. Rob chose a specific and short route and avoided flying over islands and naval bases. While he was flying towards his next destination, which Rob decided would be Wano country, Rob came across something very interesting that made him slow down. 5 islands floating in the air, 4 small islands, and 1 large island in the middle of all of them. Rob's eyes flashed as he flew toward the large floating island. Perhaps today he will get some benefits from this untamed lion. Chapter 80, Fighting Shiki. Earth and Sky Earthquake. Jahahaha. Who is my guest this time? The moment Rob stood on the surface of the floating island, the golden lion's laughter resounded across the entire sky of the island. Shiki was right now, and Shiki, who had been defeated by the Straw Hats 27 years from now, was like comparing the distance between heaven and earth. After all, Rob saw dozens of battles between Roger and Shiki with his own eyes. Their battles, especially the last battles between them, were earth-shattering. They were very strong, so Rob was not detracting from the value of the golden lion Shiki in any way. But because of his immortal body also he wasn't worried in any way. He could even face 1,000 Shiki and would still be alive despite dying 1,000 times. So what is there to worry about? Although confronting a great pirate may seem like suicide in the eyes of many, for Rob it is just a fleeting thought and he decided to implement it. But there are still worthy goals behind this fleeting idea. He decided to bump into this man, first to find out the exact level of his own strength. After all, the current Shiki could be considered the peak of strength in the world, except for IM. He also wanted to plant his art store here, so he could easily track down this invisible bastard and, after all, his devil fruit was too amazing to miss. Rob would wait for it for years until he weakened and took it from him, as well as destroying the 20-year plan by which Shiki wants to destroy East Blue after Roger's death. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Rudes D. Rob, a former member of Roger Pirates, has come to meet the Golden Lion. Boom! The ground near Rob shook and dust scattered when a majestic man emerged from the dust, with very thick, yellow, thorny hair drooping down, and with a short beard. Shiki looked at the man in front of him with a wide smile before asking with great enthusiasm. Ha! Roger Pirates. Former? Aren't you the famous Sky Sword? Jahahaha. Did you come to join my crew after your arrogant captain rejected my offer? Anyway, I will definitely accept someone of your caliber. Looks like you misunderstood something, Golden Lion. I didn't come to join you, I came to offer you a business deal. Shiki's bright smile turned into a frown and then disappointment. He looked with his head down as if he had been betrayed of some sort. The sight of the Golden Lion depressed rendered Rob speechless. He didn't think the stupid studio extras in the anime were real. What were those signs of the frustrating darkening aura above the Golden Lion's head? Is he just imagining it? Shiki was really frustrated. Just why doesn't at least one strong person join him? All his rivals, Whitebeard, Roger, have hundreds of times more powerful members of his crew and he's their rival. He doesn't even have a right arm that can be considered really strong. Because of the trash crew who chose to follow him, Shiki became the ranking tail of the 3 great pirates. Isn't he, the Golden Lion Shiki, doesn't he have a strong charm that attracts strong men to his crew? Even that bitch Lin Lin produced a lot of powerful children, and maybe she might have 1 or 2 children among them with him, and even that lucky apprentice, Kaido, had obtained good seeds. Except him. It looks like it's heading for bankruptcy from the top. His situation doesn't look very promising. Then, what deal do you have with me, Sky Sword? Do you want to take the title of the best swordsman in the world from me or something? /N, since the best swordsman in the world, before my hawk, was not mentioned, I decided to make Shiki the best swordsman in the world at the moment. Taking that title from you is kinda tempting, but I came up with a business deal this time. Business deal? I'd like to open a store that sells lots of fun stuff here on your island if you'd like. Rob knew Shiki well, he was sure he would refuse. After all, who wants to bring in their safe base something out of their control? And more privately, the secretive base of Shiki was one of his strongest cards. So why would he let Rob make a rabbit trap on his land? Not only that, but Rob is sure that his offer will make the Golden Lion angry because his mood is fickle as hell. And that's exactly what happened. Are you making fun of me? His earlier frustration, followed by this man's suspicious presentation, was on his nerves. Do you know who you're talking to, Kozo? Rob Surajiri pulled out of the scabbard, who in turn longed to fight like a sword. He turned his face towards Shiki. You reject my good intentions, Golden Lion, but don't blame me in the end. Blame you? Do the bugs need the blame? Since you won't join me, you have to die here. Sending your corpse to Roger, that will make him angry, won't it? Rob didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Was this Golden Lion on an unknown type of drug that made him turn into a complete idiot? Boom! Sparks fly everywhere after Shiki's swords, Oto and Kagurashi, collided with Surajiri. They were famous swords that were powerful in their own right, but the person who was carrying them was even more powerful. I heard you stopped Admiral Zephyr, and it looks like it was real. Don't you know that during a fight chatter is unnecessary, Shiki? Jahahaha. You're a cocky boy, but I like it. Show me what you can do. Boom. Boom. What is going on here? This captain is fighting. Is it an enemy attack? Get up, bastards, we're under invasion. No, Captain Shiki is fighting one person. It's a battle of swordsmen. A terrifying sword intent makes my body shiver even from such a distance. Oh my god, the floating island is shaking. Golden Lion pirates of various ranks, from cannon fodder to commanders, gathered and watched the fearsome fight between their captain and the enemy. But the ferocity of the fighting did not allow them to interfere. Jihahaha. Not bad, really not bad at all. I don't know why, but your solid body kinda reminds me of that lucky, horned bastard. Do you know, you're the second person to compare me to that scum Kaido? Oh. So who's the first? It's the one who raped you. Shiki. His crew. Readers. Author. Shiki had a memory buried deep in his memory that caused him unforgettable shocks one day. When he was drunk to the extreme on that fateful day, he remembered that beautiful face with a sinister and lewd look that was drawing close to his face and moving away as she panted and enjoyed sucking it dry. She was going up and down his little brother with an abnormal roughness and speed. On that night, he felt as if he was in the arms of paradise in hell. His soul was trapped in a cold and hot cave. The wine made him weak and unconscious, while lean strong soul made him in bad condition. He was raped in every way that night that left an overwhelming and indelible impression on his soul. But the question now is, how did this bastard know that he had been raped by Lin? His face turned red, and Rob didn't know if it was anger or embarrassment. Hoi, don't get angry, it was just a joke. Rob felt as if he had angered the Golden Lion with his thick joke, so he hurriedly pulled it off. Do you know who you messed with? Aren't you the famous Golden Lion? Why are you asking such a stupid question? Boom! Rob was sent flying like a cannonball sent with crushing force, crashing into a small island below the main island, Merville. The small island was shattered into smaller pieces due to Rob's body, and the devil fruit power that was supporting it disappeared when the small island was shattered into pieces. Hundreds of huge rocks crashed into the sea below, and Rob hoped that this disaster wouldn't crush a ship below. Oh my god, this was painful as hell, old bastard. The Shiki pirates fell to their bottoms in shock when they saw a person being smashed onto an island with overwhelming force. The island was shattered into pieces, but he was still unscathed. Is he even human? In below, the blue sea. The sea rose in a dome and a bubble-wrapped pirate ship came out. The moment the ship rushed from the depths of the sea to the top, the bubble burst and the ship settled. Then, heard the voices of the pirates celebrating their arrival at the new world at last. Men! We have finally come to this stage as Elephant Hammer Pirates. Now we can dominate the sea. We will show the world how strong Elephant Hammer Pirates are. Oh who? Captain! Suddenly the sky above them turned dark for an unknown reason. Everyone on the pirate ship raised their heads in anticipation, and it was shocking. This death is coming. I can see it. F***CK the New World. How did we not hear that it was raining huge rocks in the New World? Move on, you bastards, get us out of here from the field of rain rocks, we'll get crushed. Set fucking up the second sails. Captain, no maneuverability, it's hundreds, maybe thousands of huge rocks rain. Boom. 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 In a second, the pirate ship that had just entered the new world was crushed by huge blocks of rocks, which had previously been a small floating island with the power of the Golden Lion. He didn't even hear the screams of the pirates on board as they died in an instant and turned into a paste of meat. Neither Rob nor Shiki knew that they had ended the hopes of a rookie pirate crew without their knowledge, but even if they knew they wouldn't care, it was their bad luck after all. Rob and Shiki continued their fierce fight, not considering anything else. Sword energies collided and smashed a lot of rocks from the floating islands, the Conqueror Haki colliding and making the pirates watching the battle kneel in awe under the stifling pressure of Conqueror Haki. It was a battle that lasted for half a day. Within half a day the sky and the earth and sea shook. Rob was developing fiercely during the fight while Shiki laughed non-stop as he threw yellow energy blades toward Rob filled with killing intent. At the scene of their fight, the sky was torn apart. Again and again, yellow and purple energy lights collided with each other, and black clouds formed, sending an ominous omen of calamity here. Even pirates or navies who were at the closest point to the battlefield below in the sea, they could see the abnormal signs of disastrous combat. After all, such phenomena only occur when two great pirates fight each other with their full strength, and this is a rare occurrence. How did you become so strong? You're on the same level as your captain? That's terrifying. Shiki spat blood from his mouth as he was slightly injured and said in astonishment. Anyone can become a powerful force by working hard. Come on, I didn't even use my devil fruit's power. Shiki, you really disappoint me. You're saying that as if I've already used my ability. Brat, our fight is destroying my base, why don't you just leave? When Shiki offered to leave, Rob was disappointed that he didn't get a chance to show the power of the lightning fruit he had recently obtained, but it was okay. Rob was patient enough to test it later. There were still plenty of monsters to enjoy fighting later. Okay, I will leave, but not before I leave you a gift for which you will thank me very much in the future, but because of your violent behavior everything in my store will be twice or more as expensive, but I think you can afford it, Golden Lion. Ha! The Golden Lion didn't understand anything of what the bastard in front of him had said, but he suddenly felt something appear out of nowhere in his field of observation and quickly turned around when he saw a building of modern specifications appearing out of nowhere, while he feeling daunted and dazed. When he turned to ask Rob what this was, he found that bastard was already gone. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Just a quick reminder, What If Ninja in Jujutsu Kaisen will be going on hold soon, since we've nearly caught up with the author. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these 3 fanfics. What if Reborn is Goku clone? What if Natsu has dual elements? What if Transmigrated in One Piece and becoming a Marine? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.